So guys, now the mold is all dried up. I'm just knocking around to make sure that it's well dried inside. It's my way. Yes. So I'll carefully take off the pins, especially if you are using these fancy pins. They break easily. So you have to carefully take off the pins. After taking out the pins, then you'll have to move on to take out the mold inside it. That's the woody mold inside it. Just take it out carefully. This out. Then guys, you move on to trim off the edges, but I want you to look carefully how I trim it off, the amount of allowance I give to the edge before trimming off. See where I started trimming off? Started like just very close to where I pinned down. I gave an allowance to the edge, see right there. And then guys, we'll move on to finish it up with our hot glue. You can basically use any gum of your choice. It's not a must that it should be this hot glue gum. It mustn't be glue gum. It's not a must. It's not a standard. So you can use any gum of your choice, the gum that works for you or the one you have available. All you desire is a neat work, neat finishing. So guys, you see how I'm gluing it down, how I keep coming it down. This peg, the first peg I picked up, I actually didn't make use of it because the teeth is very deep, so it can leave marks on my fascinator, which I do not want. But these ones are just, the other ones are just light, so they won't leave that much of deep mark on my fascinator. So we'll continue gumming down with every carefulness that we've got. So let's just keep coming down slowly, carefully, especially if you're a beginner. Please don't rush. Just carefully come down. Guys, you mustn't use this amount of pegs that I use though if you want to use pegs. These pegs are just to help me hold it down so that until it comes down. But if you don't have pegs, if you apply your gum, then you hold it until it is gummed down. So if you have like 3 pegs, you can make use of them. As you go around, you remove the pegs and peg the other sides, just like that. Just make do with whatever you have. And after I'm done with this, guys, I'll move on to use my 1-inch elastic to finish up the inside, to make sure that my inside is very neat, that the inside of the fascinator is as neat and beautiful as the outer parts. So now guys, we'll move on. Is a 1-inch elastic. We'll use it to trim the inside of the fascinator, the inside. And there with our hot glue, we'll carefully, I keep stressing this word, carefully, because we don't want a rough work after we are done. So you carefully gum down the trimming to your fascinator, to the inner part. Carefully gum it down so as to give you a neat finishing. So you are just basically trimming that part that you folded inside. You are trimming it with this elastic so as to make it look neat and nice. So you carefully do this so as to avoid gum stains all over your fascinator. So we'll go on now. Now we'll finish it up. Ta-da! We are done here. So for this little elastic, I don't have my band ready. I don't want to use the Alice band, and I don't have the other band that is already joined to itself. So I'll be using this. It's about quarter an inch, or is it half an inch? I'll be using it as the band for this fascinator. Remember, this is a tutorial, so it's just to help our beginners. It's about 14.5 inches. So I'll be joining it to each. That half inch is actually for me to join it together. I would have sewn it down, but for the purpose of this tutorial, I just decided to use my gum and glue it down. I'll use about quarter an inch from both sides and glue them down together, just like you see me doing now. You carefully do this. Just use about quarter an inch, and that is in order for me to maintain the other 14 inches. I cut out 14.5 inches, and that half is for joining them together. So guys, now you locate the center, the midpoint of your fascinator, and then you take that part that you joined, where you joined the band, and then you lay it down on that midpoint, at the midpoint of that fascinator. That is where you lay it down, and then you take about 0.75 inches from both sides. From the midpoint, you come 0.75 inches to the other one side and 0.75 inches to the other side, and then you glue them down, you gum them down, you lay them down there. I don't know if you understand, but if you watch carefully, you see, take a look at the inside, you see how much I took, about 1.5 inches to glue them down to the fascinator base. But I'll still be tacking down to ensure that my work is firm and that it won't for any reason pull off. When my client is putting it on, this was actually made for a little girl, so that's why. So now with this white thread, I'll be tacking down the band to this fascinator base to ensure that it is firm. And guys, there is a trick to use when you are tacking down. You take the bigger part of the tack of the stitch from the inside, while on top, here it is, while on top, on the surface of this very fascinator, the outer part, you take very small stitch, like you place it. I don't know how to explain this, but just watch carefully how I'm tacking it down. You'll understand that I'm trying to take smaller stitches from the outside and then bigger stitches from the inside, and I'm taking the stitch in a way that is like a zigzag, but you can basically stitch down however you wish, but make sure that you are taking this little by little on top of the outer part of the fascinator. On the outer part, you take a tiny stitch, while on the inside you take a bigger part of the stitch, just like that, guys. Like when you pull it out to the outer part of the fascinator, you try to fix it close to the same, close to where the needle came out. Watch the way I'm doing it. I'll try to Mm-hmm. Tack it down close to where the needle came out, and this is so that it do not look so rough, very rough, and taking out almost all the spaces up there. So that's why. So guys, you have to be very careful. The real thing is make sure that your work is neat. And after, guys, we'll be embellishing the outer parts. We'll be embellishing here. We'll be embellishing it with our design. So now we'll go on to cut off the thread. I'm going to cut off the thread and knots. Don't forget to knot, sharp knots. See, if you looked carefully, you did be seeing what the inside looked like. And here, I'll be cutting a piece of cloth so as to give the inner part a neat finishing. I don't want to leave it with that thread like that. No, I'll have to give it a neat finishing, and that's what I'm trying to do here. Yeah, I'm trying to cut it like in an oval shape so that it can look nice at least. So with our gum, we'll still go on to gum down. Guys, the thing is, remember to keep your work neat. See, I took the bigger part of the stitch from the inside, and on top of the fascinator itself, like on the outer part, the obvious part of the fascinator, I took a tiny stitch. See, I just gave it a neat finishing, and here you don't see the stitches anymore. So this is very neat and beautiful. Just go on to make sure that it is well gummed down. So guys, from my side, I think it should be a goodbye now. You guys should wait for my next tutorial. Guys, I'll be showing you all what I make of this fascinator, how I will embellish it. So guys, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you've watched to this extent, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and recommend my YouTube channel to many who will be uh, eager to learn. And this is it. Guys, wait for the embellishing. It's coming up on my next tutorial. Thank you guys. Thank you so much.